Hello viewers, welcome to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. Here is another highly informative video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Egypt's top import and exports. Keep watching, we got it all covered. The Arab Republic of Egypt, a Mediterranean country that connects Africa's northeast corner with Asia's southwest corner via the Sinai Peninsula's land bridge, imported $60.3 billion in goods in 2020. This figure represents a minus 14.7% decrease since 2016 and a minus 23.4% decrease from 2019 to 2020. China with 15%, the United States with 6.7%, Saudi Arabia with 6.3%, Germany with 5.8%, Turkey with 4.9%, Italy with 4.3%, Russia with 4.2%, India with 3.8%, Kuwait with 3.3%, Brazil with 3.2%, Ukraine with 2.6%, and Spain were the top suppliers, accounting for 57% of Egypt's international purchases. From a continental standpoint, Asian countries accounted for 47% of Egypt's total imports by value. European trading partners accounted for 37.3% of Egypt's total import purchases. Exporters in North America with 7.7%, Latin America with 5.3% excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean, Africa with 2%, and Oceania with 0.8%, led by Australia and New Zealand, had lower percentages. Given Egypt's population of 100.9 million people, the country's total $60.3 billion in 2020 imports equates to approximately $600 in average yearly product demand from each individual in the Northeast African country. If you're new to the Big Man Business YouTube channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell to receive updates on new business expert videos. For more international business news and updates, please visit www.bigmanbusiness.com. Egypt's top 10 imports. During 2020, the following product groups have the highest dollar value in Egypt's import purchases. The percentage share of each product category in terms of total imports into Egypt is also shown. Mineral fuels, including oil, totaled $7.1 billion, which is 11.7% of total imports. $5.3 billion for machinery, including computers standing at 8.7%. Cereals are worth $4.6 billion, which is 7.7%. $4.6 billion for automobiles accounting for 7.7%. $4 billion in electrical machinery and equipment account for 6.6%. Plastics and plastic products with $3 billion account for 4.9%. $2.6 billion for iron and steel account for 4.4%. $2.3 billion in pharmaceuticals account for 3.8%. $1.9 billion for oilseeds account for 3.2%. $1.9 billion for iron or steel articles account for 3.2%. Egypt's top 10 imports accounted for nearly 3/5 of the total value of its product purchases from other countries, which is 57.7%. From 2019 to 2020, none of the top import categories mentioned previously grew. The electrical machinery or equipment was down by minus 42.4% and mineral fuels including oil was down by minus 36.1%. Product categories led the decliners. The latter was weighed down by Egyptian imports of refined petroleum oils and gases, which were declining. Egypt's major international trade partners. According to the most recent country-specific data, 53.8% of Egyptian exports were purchased by importers in the following countries: the United Arab Emirates with 10.7% of the global total, Saudi Arabia with 6.4%, Turkey with 6.2%, the United States with 5.5%, Italy with 5.2%, India with 4.6%, Spain with 2.8%, the United Kingdom with also 2.8%, Canada with 2.6%, Greece with 2.5%, China with 2.2%, and Germany with 2.1%. From a continental standpoint, 45.8% of Egypt's exports were delivered to Asian countries, while 28.9% were sold to European importers. Egypt shipped another 14.3% of its goods to African trading partners. North America with 8.3%, Latin America excluding Mexico but including the Caribbean with 1.8%, and Oceania, led by Australia, received smaller percentages of 0.9%. With a population of 100.9 million people, Egypt's total $26.8 billion in 2020 exports equates to approximately $270 for each resident of the transcontinental nation. Egypt's top 10 exports. Mineral fuels, including oil, are worth $4.7 billion, which account for 17.6% of total exports. $3 billion in gems and precious metals accounts for 11%. Plastics and plastic products at $1.7 billion account for 6.5%. $1.6 billion for electrical machinery and equipment account for 5.8%. $1.5 billion for fruits and nuts account for 5.4%. Fertilizers are worth $1.2 billion, which account for 4.3%. $1 billion for vegetables account for 3.9%. $891.8 million for clothing and accessories account 3.3%. $696.2 million for iron and steel account for 2.6%. $571.7 million for perfumes and cosmetics account for 2.1%. Egypt's top 10 exports accounted for 62.6% of total global shipments. Gems and precious metals were the fastest-growing export category among the top 10, increasing by 44.3% between 2019 and 2020. This increase was fueled by increased Egyptian gold sales on international markets. The only other year-over-year increases were for fruits and nuts up by 2.6% and iron or steel as a material up by 2.6%. Mineral fuels, including oil, were the leading decliner among Egypt's top 10 export categories, with a -41.8% annual drop, weighed down by lower revenues for both refined and crude petroleum oils, as well as petroleum gas. Unwrought gold is the top export, which is 10.9% of all Egyptian exported goods at the more granular 4-digit harmonized tariff system code level in 2020. Processed petroleum oils with 10.8% came in second, followed by crude oil with 4.5%, nitrogenous fertilizers with 3.5%, fresh or dried miscellaneous citrus fruit with 3%, television receivers, monitors, and projectors with 2.7%, insulated wire or cable with 1.9%, petroleum gases with also 1.9%, unknitted and non-crocheted men's suits and trousers with 1.6%, knitted or crocheted t-shirts and vests with 1.6%. In macroeconomic terms, Egypt's total exported goods account for 2% of its total GDP in 2020, valued at $1.346 trillion in purchasing power parity US dollars. In 2020, exports will account for 2% of total GDP in PPP terms, up from 1.8% in 2019. Based on these metrics, Egypt's total economic performance appears to be becoming increasingly dependent on products sold in international markets, albeit over a relatively short timeframe. The unemployment rate is another important indicator of a country's economic performance. According to IMF data, Egypt's average unemployment rate for 2020 was 8.296%, down from an average of 8.612% a year earlier. Cairo is Egypt's capital city. Thanks for watching this video. We are open to suggestions. Kindly drop your comments in the comment box and don't forget to subscribe to the Big Man Business YouTube channel. See you in the next video.